getting the shades of blue or those hints of blue correct can be really difficult. Hello, I'm Rosie Hardy. This is Rosie Hardy Gardening. Now in this little border that I've got here, I've got a Succisa pratensis or devil's bit, which is tall and airy and wants to be in moist-ish or moisture retentive soil. In front of that I have a Campanula called Furze. Again, it likes slightly moister soil and will go in part shade. So those two are quite happy together. You can push Artemisia ludoviciana, which is Valerie Finnis, this one. You can push this into really good soils. It will get a little bit bigger, so you will be needing to cut it back again. Below there I've got a low growing Campanula poscharskyana. That's that one down there, low ground covering, goes in most places shady, good for underneath trees and shrubs and pushing through. Then we've got here a Polemonium. This one is known as Bressingham purple. That's because of the purple stems and the purple leaves. It's not because it's got purple flowers really. These are a lilac rather than a purple, so they go within my blue hues. So I find it difficult to find a lot of herbaceous perennials that are true blue, because as the day changes, the daylight changes, as the flowers open when they are fresh to when they are going over later on in a 2-3 days later on, once they've been opened, they change colour. So your blues will change colour, and they can have anything in them from sort of lilac right the way through to violet, and that is what I've got here. This is a beautiful Campanula. This is Campanula Pritchard's variety. This large flowered geranium here is Geranium Orion, and then right down in the front here, and this is really on the violet edge of the colour range, that is a Nepeta called Neptune. Now all of these will take a bit of part shade. Now the part shade that I'm talking about here is where they get full sun for part of the day and then they go into shade, or vice versa, they start off in shade and then go in. But we're starting off with the border being quite moist at one end and then becoming good soil at the other end. So use where you can push the plants through to. Now they're all going to make quite large clumps, so you know they'd make lovely big clumps, these would. And it's strange, isn't it? You know, I've put silver in here. Where does that come in there? Silver's not technically a colour, is it? It's a shade. And the thing to think about with these is that although these have got colours, they've got shades of that colour. And if I hadn't got the silver in here, for instance, if I just pull the silver away from round these purple plants in the centre there, or the purple leaved plants in the centre, and you just sort of avoid that bit of silver there, can you see how dead that is? You just don't see anything through the blue, through the purple, through to blue again, and maybe the bit of green. That all looks quite dead. If I then put these lovely silver plants back in here again, you will see that it lightens it up. And this is where you've got to be very careful with colours and when you're choosing colours and what you're going to do, because the silver just lightens everything up. You can see past it and it shows off the plants in front of it. So that is why you need to put in foliage plants in amongst if you're going to go for one particular colour. And what you have to remember with blue is it will absorb all light, and then you are left with quite a dead space. So changing it up and going for a little bit of lavender here, a little bit of lilac, a little bit of the darker colours, plus the change in leaf shape and leaf colour. So you've got strappy leaves on this Succisa pratensis here. You've got broad dark green leaves on that Campanula. So the Campanula here, Campanula Furze, it's a runner and it will grow along and it will go around all over the place, and then he has these lovely long blue purpley bells and green foliage, so that is absolutely fine. These are lovely whippy and they move in the sunshine. You have this Campanula at the front here, Campanula poscharskyana. It's an open starry flower on this with a green mat in the middle, and again it will run around and go through things, so you could grow all of those together. But look how the silver sets all of these off. Then in the middle we have this purple stem going up, so you sort of lose the stems, and then suddenly at the top you get this lovely flower which is beautiful, large flowers with dark eyes to it, and you get the good purple foliage, which is interesting in the spring, especially when you've got a mound of purple offset with the silver as well, which is a mound at that time. The big flowers of this geranium, now this is Geranium Orion, repeat blooms, repeat blooms, repeat blooms. You just cut back, up it comes. Absolutely no problem at all. Has the beautiful divided geranium foliage. This Campanula is a lactiflora type. It has lovely big green leaves, and then the heads of flower are at the top here, and this is a lilac blue, so that is really good. And then the Nepeta at the front here. So this is Nepeta Neptune. Nepeta Neptune has huge big flowers which are violet in colour and green foliage, and this is a shade loving Nepeta, so this is quite happy in shady spots. In fact, it's happier in shade than it is if you put it into a sunny spot. So a lot of these plants are going to run around, so that is quite useful, and the ones that run around you can put in as ground cover, etc. The Succisa is going to get up to somewhere around about 4 feet, well, anywhere between 2 and 4 feet in height, so anywhere between 60 centimetres and 1 metre 20, and that is due to the amount of moisture it gets. It is a clump former, so you get a lovely big clump and then all of this flower, and it is a scabious like flower on the top there, really, really pretty and airy. The Campanula Furze is going to spread quite a lot. It's going to get to at least 60 centimetres, 2 feet in spread, and then just under 2 feet, about 50 centimetres in height. So that's those two. The Artemisia, well again, it's a clumper. It'll make up to 2 feet in spread and at least 2 feet high with this beautiful silver foliage. Again, divisible, really easy. Then the little low ground cover poscharskyana, it is a clumper, but it does spread slowly sideways. So that is going to make a foot at least, if not a bit more, sideways, 30 centimetres. But height-wise, the flowers are on long stems, so they don't go very high, they go out flat. So that gives you lots and lots of spread of colour. The Polemonium is going to make a clump of foliage around about a foot, 30 centimetres, and then the flowers up to 2 foot, 60 centimetres. The Nepeta here can get taller, or you can cut it back and it will repeat bloom. So that will spread to around about 18 inches, 45 centimetres across by about 18 inches high, maybe a bit more if the soil is better. But once it's had its first flowering, give it a haircut back and it will rebloom for you. So that is really good. As I said, the geranium, that's going to rebloom. That will make decent sized clumps, 45 centimetres or 18 inches round, and then height wise it's going to get somewhere around about 2 to 3 feet, which is 60 to 90 centimetres. Second flowering is lower, nearer the 60 centimetres. The Campanula is a clump former, steadily making decent sized clumps, anywhere between 45 and 60 centimetres, so 18 inches and 2 foot. And then height wise, at least 3 feet, if not 4 feet in height, so that is 90 centimetres to 1 metre 20. So they would all work quite nicely together. Remember, this end slightly moister, this end is good soil, so somewhere you've put a lot of organic matter in, but they will all tolerate the part shade, and that's an area people have a lot of problems with. But remember, your blues are not all going to be out in flower at the same time. That is why you need foliage to offset what little flower is left at the end of the season if you really want to have just a blue tone to a border. Be very careful though, as I say, with the blues. And here in the UK, because we don't have as bright a sunlight most of the time, you will probably find that you'll get different things happening. They will look in the morning a much bluer colour to what they look in the evening, and that is all to do with the age of the flowers as they're going through. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe to the channel. If you want to watch another video of mine, YouTube thinks this one is perfect for you.